Hello and welcome to another episode of the Pixelated Sausage Show. Hi. How are y'all doing? I'm, of course, your host, Mark Krishnez, and I've got some games to talk about on today's episode, including Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the game, Deceit 2, INDIKA, Kamaeru, a frog refugee. Refuge. No, that's not a frog refugee. The frog refuge. Texas Chainsaw Massacre Pinball, and Roxy Raccoon's Pinball Panic. And I'll probably get to those games fairly quickly because, I don't really feel like talking about anything news-wise, particularly all the summer Game Fest and Xbox Game Showcase and all that jazz. I consumed a decent amount of it, but I'm not overly excited about talking about any of it. I'm not, whatever. The Xbox Game Showcase, there's some games there that I was excited about, but hard to be excited about Xbox right now, even still. Just in general, hard to be excited about the games industry. I saw some more layoffs today. I'm recording this on Tuesday. The Sumo company or whatever that has Sumo Digital, the Chinese Room, and other developers under them. More layoffs. 15%, 10%, some kind of percent. It's just a great year. It's a great year. Great year. But, yeah. I watched some movies and stuff. I decided with my exercise, I couldn't think of what to watch. Didn't really want to watch movies while doing that bit. I decided to rewatch all of Psych. And I am getting close to finishing the first season. That is just a fantastic show. It is one of the greatest shows of all time. As far as I'm concerned, I think it starts off great. It doesn't have one of those weak first seasons, and then it gets good with season 2 onward, like people say about many shows, such as The Office and Parks and Rec, both of which I thought had perfectly fine first seasons, but of course they really fell into their rhythm with their second seasons. But the first seasons of those shows I didn't think they were awful or anything. I've seen all of Parks and Rec. I did not stick with Office because I was very much so in the Jim and what's her name? Rashida Jones. I was in the Jim and Rashida Jones camp. So when they're like, no, fuck it, y'all know it's going to be Jim and Pam this whole time, I was like, fuck you, I'm out. And that's really the reason why I decided to stop watching that show. I was enjoying it, but then they hurt my feelings. So I said, no. And then I watched Parks and Rec after 5 or so of the seasons were already out or some shit. I watched the Lethal Weapon movies. Those were enjoyable. Even though I think Joe Pesci adds absolutely nothing and makes it hard to enjoy 2 through 4. Even though in the 4th movie, there is a very sweet moment at the end that doesn't make up for all the annoying times that were endured before that, but it is at least a sweet moment. And the very end, the doctor is taking a picture of all of them, says, "Are you friends? Are you friends? No, we're family." They were the original family, not Fast. Fast stole it from Lethal Weapon. And then I watched The Nice Guys as well. That's a great ass movie. I love Kiss Kiss Bang Bang because it's fun seeing Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer play off each other, and Val Kilmer is so good in that movie. But structurally, story-wise, just overall, The Nice Guys is Shane Black's best movie. It's so good. It's so good. Then I also watched Gladiator because I wasn't sure if I actually liked it. I don't like that movie. So that's out of here. That is out of here. But it's been weird. I don't want to jump into another big, long commitment. I thought about watching all the MCU movies again up until Endgame. And I've started Iron Man one night, one day, one morning for about 4 minutes. And then I said, I don't want to commit to this. I don't want to do this. I did the same with Dr. No for Bond. And then I said, I don't want to commit to this. So I'm just waffling between a whole bunch of things. I'm not really sure what I want to watch. And then I feel like watching the same few movies over and over and over again. And then I feel like, I am someone who does find a lot of enjoyment in rewatching. I don't need to keep watching new stuff. But I don't want to just watch the same handful of movies over and over again. I keep thinking about, I should watch Air Force One again. Maybe I should watch True Lies again. I should watch Die Hard again. It's dumb. It's dumb. I should watch Charade again. I should watch How to Steal $1 Million again to start throwing in movies that most of you probably have never heard of. Charade, maybe. How to Steal $1 Million, definitely not. Great movie. Great movie. Hero Tool, I believe. And Audrey Hepburn. Very fun, very fun. Love me some young Peter O'Toole. Also love me some young Kirk Douglas. Quite a bit. Even though he sometimes has a habit of overacting. But he is very, very good. Love me some old movies. What am I going to watch today? No idea. No idea. Tomorrow, technically? Well, you don't know when I'm recording this. It doesn't matter. Well, I said I'm recording this on Tuesday. Let's just get on to what I've been playing. This is a week of stuff I'm not overly fond of. Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the game. This kind of cements that these asymmetrical horror games are just not for me. Because this is very much so like so many of these other ones. Dead by Daylight. What are the other ones? Texas Chase. It's just another one of those with different theming. And in this case, I actually am big. I was gonna say I am a big fan. I am a big fan of Killer Klowns from Outer Space. So big that I own 2 copies of it because they recently came out with a 4K copy. So I of course got that, but I wasn't going to get rid of my out of print Arrow Blu-ray of it. I think it's from Arrow. I believe so. But that edition has been out of print for a while, and I'm not sure if there are any exclusive extras on that aren't on the Shout UHD or Blu-ray disc, but it doesn't matter. I like it. I like the packaging, so I'm keeping that copy. But I really like that movie. It has a fantastic theme song that's way too good for what the movie is. I'm not exactly sure I'd fall into the camp that Killer Klowns. It sounds like a movie that's probably so bad it's good, but I think it's probably maybe just a genuinely good, fun, dumb movie. That's not good because it's so bad, but good because it's It's dumb. It knows it's dumb. And it's just having fun with its dumbness. The theme song is great. It reminds me a lot of Cheap Trick, specifically Surrender, which is my favorite Cheap Trick song. So that makes me happy. But it is very distinct. It just gives me a bit of that vibe when the opening music plays in. But I love Cheap Trick not just because they're local-ish. They're a Freeport band, I think, which is weird to think about. If you know where Freeport is, it is not a Chicagoland area city. It is nearish Rockford. But the Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the game is another one of them asymmetrical horror games where you either play as the killer clowns or humans trying to survive. And it's okay, I guess. I played a few rounds as both. Why do my nose always, when I'm recording these damn podcasts, my mustache has to be like curling into it, like, we're gonna fuck with you when you record your podcast, because we're mustache hairs. Pieces of crap. But it just didn't do anything for me playing on either side. As a human, you have more ways to defend yourself than usual, it felt like. And you could kill clowns, which then causes them to have to wait to respawn for between 45 and 60 seconds. If you die as a human, you can be brought back. There's a revival machine that can revive all the dead humans, but it can only be used once, so it's better to wait until more humans die to use it and bring back everyone. While you're dead as a human, you don't have to just spectate, which is good because it keeps you from just quitting a match after you die to find something else so that you can be potentially revived. What they have you doing as a human is playing these mini games, which are very simple and get repetitive and tiresome after a while because they're so quick, that allow you to earn in-game items that you can store for yourself in case you get respawned, or you can give them to one of the other players who are still in-game where you're spectating to help them out. And the way the minigames work is that there's a countdown timer for you getting a new item. You can just not engage with the minigames, and eventually the countdown timer will get to 0. You'll get a new item. But by successfully doing what each minigame is asking you, it'll knock down some time from that timer. And these minigames are very simple, like whack-a-mole, a balloon shoot thing where you're adjusting a crosshair that's going up and down and left and right, and you press it once and you lock in where it is on the y-axis and where it is on the x-axis. A Simon Says like game, pretty basic stuff, and it's fine. As the clown, what you're trying to do is you can kill the humans or turn them into cotton candy. What is it? Cocoons. And then you can string them up, level up these little machines scattered across the maps that'll level up, and then you can get minions spawning from them that'll help you out, tell you where humans are, maybe carry around a cocoon and stuff like that nature. It's just, I don't find these games fun. The tension really wasn't there. And I just was pretty bored playing it. The one game that I really liked, even though I'm not hugely fond of the source material, was the Friday the 13th game. I thought playing as Jason was fun and made me feel powerful while having certain weaknesses that made it so that I wasn't overpowering these humans. And playing as the humans was tense and scary. And in this game, if I run into a clown, I don't feel super threatened because I can defend myself or I can just run away. It's just these games clearly not for me. They're clearly not for me. I'm still hopeful about that Predator game, which will be coming out on Xbox maybe in a few months. I think it might have been an August thing. I'm hopeful for that because it feels like that might scratch somewhat of the itch that's been there since Spies versus Mercs was killed with Double Agent? I think Double Agent had a kind of forked version of that. It wasn't in Conviction, I don't believe. I don't know if there's any kind of multiplayer in Conviction, but I think there's still some form of it in Double Agent. But I played it mostly in Pandora Tomorrow. I never had Chaos Theory because I don't think my computer would have run. I think my computer barely ran Pandora Tomorrow. I loved Spies vs. Mercs so much. And I feel like there might be some of that in that Predator game, but I'll have to wait and see. But that is Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the game. I also, in playing it, I don't think there's anything super special about it mechanically that would draw someone in who's not interested in the source material. So if you're not a fan of Killer Klowns from Outer Space, I feel like there's even less reason to check this out because, again, I didn't see anything super special outside of giving you something to do when you die as a human. That's nice. I'd like something more interesting to do, but I shouldn't complain about something that doesn't exist in most, if not all, other games of this nature. So at least it's something better than nothing. But yeah, not for me. Then Deceit 2 is kind of similar, but it's more of a werewolf like, where you have, or Among Us, to use a similar game, which I still haven't played, so I can't really compare it. But it is a game where you have a group of people. It might be around 10 or so. 2 of them are, I think they might be called infected, and then 1 is cursed. The cursed person has specific objectives they need to do, and then the infected just want to go around killing everyone without being seen. And then you have your times where you can vote people out and all that. And the way it works is during the normal time, you're going around fixing things and doing stuff to help out your teammates, to help out everyone else. And you're paying attention to what everyone's doing, trying to spot people being nefarious. Then there is a in-between time where you can transform, if you're cursed, can transform into your monster form. I think in the free, because it's a free-to-play game, I got a code for the werewolf DLC. I think in the free-to-play version, all you have access is to this generic monster. And then in this werewolf pack, you can turn into a werewolf. But you turn into your monster mode, and then you go around trying to devour the humans while they're trying to survive the in-between. I think conceptually it's good. I like these kind of games. I've played them mostly in board game tabletop form, where things can get pretty intense when people, for instance, keep saying they don't believe you when you're fucking... I don't understand. In all the tabletop games I played of this nature, Coup, fucking Resistance, Werewolf of any kind, etc. The amount of times I played, when I used to go to this board game night, the amount of times I played these types of games with the same people, and I always told them I'm telling the truth, and it always came out that I was telling the truth because I just don't like lying. I don't like being deceitful in those games, so I'm not actually any good at them. But people never fucking believed me. It's like there's something about me where I'm 100% truthful and honest, yet for whatever reason, something about me makes people think I'm fucking lying all the time. What the fuck is that? It drove me nuts because I was playing Werewolf this one time, and I was the detective or something or other. I can't remember the roles in that game. And people were asking me, okay, prove that it is. Tell us who this or that is. And part of the rules are you can't just come out and say this or that, because then you just ruin the game. So I'm like, I can't. I trust me, I'm this. But I can't do that. It's against the game. I'm like, no. And they fucking killed me. I think it was... The thing is, too, it was my partner at the time. She fucking convinced everyone that I was a fucking liar. That fucking pissed me off. But that has nothing to do with Deceit 2. I'm bringing all that up just because the problem with Deceit 2, in the few games I played, when it doesn't just completely drop and throw me back at the main menu, making me wonder what the hell just happened when I thought I was getting into a game. The problem with Deceit 2, in my experience, is that the community playing it is awful. They will work together, they will be chatting on their own and cheating or just saying really nasty things in the general chat. It was a very, very unpleasant experience playing that game because of the community. That may vary. It could vary based on when you're playing it. I don't think I was playing at any kind of special times. It was just, I did not want to keep playing it because I think if I had a large group of friends to play this with, we all get together and play this, could be fun. But I did not have fun listening to what some of these people are saying, or just being shot at the beginning of a round as soon as someone finds a gun, just getting killed, and then voted off the island right away for no reason other than I wasn't part of the cool kids club. So your mileage will vary, of course. There's no guarantee you'll experience what I experienced. But I looked at some people talking about the game. It seems like there is at least somewhat of a consensus that this does not have the nicest, most pleasant community out there. So check at your own potential peril. INDIKA. I was very excited about this, but I only managed to play an hour of it because I really didn't like this. To sell it to some people, like Enchi, for instance, my friend Enchi, it feels very much so like a game that people who watch movies and whenever they see A24, they go, oof, I'm in. I don't need to know anything else about the movie. I'm in. A24. This feels like the A24 of video games. And I'm very iffy on A24. They've put out some stuff that I love and some stuff that that Lamb movie or whatever, that did not work for me. They've put out some other stuff that I really love. Last Black Man in San Francisco. Fantastic. Midsummer. Hereditary. Interesting. They also did Everything Everywhere. They're all over the place in terms of what they put out. But I'm not a person who sees A24 and thinks, oh, got to put that in my collection. No. I think the last one I watched was that wrestling movie, and I did not like that. I did not think that was handled particularly well. I found this weird. There's some weirdness in that movie, and it's also, especially, I think it is very weird that there was, reading after the fact, there was another brother that wasn't in the movie who also died, and the reasoning for that is because, I think this is what I read, there's already so much death in the movie. They felt like one more death would be too much. It would just depress people too much. And I'm just thinking, so how did you decide that particular brother's death wasn't as important as the other ones? So you just did not include them in the story? Because that really, to me, I look at that and I think, you're really doing a huge disservice to that brother. It's kind of disgraceful, it's distasteful, disgusting. I don't like that. And I don't agree that one more death would have made it have been too much. The movie's already about everyone fucking dying. Just be truthful and include all the brothers. Because it's weird to not have one. And I want to know why not that one. What made them so not special? Whatever. But INDIKA is a game you play as a nun. And there's the thing about it is that talking too much about it with specifics and spoilers would take away from what the main thing the game has to offer, which is its weirdness and surrealness and things it's doing. But the thing I realized while playing it is that if I didn't know things got weird, and things got weird in that first hour at times here and there, but if I didn't know things got weird, etc., there is no way in hell I would have kept playing. Even past 30 minutes, I would not have been playing this game if I didn't know to expect certain things. I don't know exactly what those are in specific, but if I didn't know about them, I wouldn't keep playing. So why am I playing? I'm playing for the expectation. And in what I did play, things did get weird here and there, but the only thing I really enjoyed was something involving a mouth. I won't go into any other specifics, but it involved a mouth initially, and it to me was one of those. It was the one moment where I was like, what is this? This is ridiculous, but I'm kind of into this. There weren't enough of those moments. That was the only one, in fact. There was also a cool prayer mechanic that made the gameplay more interesting and navigating this specific area in a puzzly type of way. And one puzzle involving moving this broken down house. But those are small little sections in an otherwise unengaging hour plus of gameplay, which is, I think, about a quarter of the game. But even knowing the game is so short, it's like how a lot of people felt about Hellblade, where even knowing it's short, they don't want to finish it. I don't really want to finish this, which is a bummer. Maybe it looks fantastic on PC as well. I've heard a lot of people talking about how it's... I feel like I've heard some people say it looks better than Hellblade. I played on Xbox Series X. I don't think that at all. I think there are parts where the lighting doesn't look the best. There's plenty of clipping. It has a bit of jank to it. I think stylistically, it's very interesting, and there's some fun there. But it just did not grab me and make me want to keep playing it. And it's an example I often bring up, but I think about in situations like this a lot, Doki Doki Literature Club, which is a game that traditionally I would not be interested in. I'm not a huge visual novel fan, but I decided to give that game a shot because I've heard so many great things about it, and I knew that at some point it was going to get weird in some way. I didn't know how, but I knew it was going to get weird. But the thing about Doki Doki Literature Club is that the visual novel stuff before anything starts happening is good too. And I'm someone who doesn't really like those, but it's well written, it's well structured. The interactive elements are engaging. I found them to be something that I enjoyed partaking in, putting together these poems and stuff. Don't say and stuff. Nice guys. Why'd I say and stuff? Maybe it's because I watched the movie. But it wasn't a case of me enduring something I wasn't enjoying to get to the good stuff, which is what I feel like I'm doing with INDIKA right now. I don't want to do that, even though it is, again, such a short experience. Maybe at some point I'll go back to it, but right now, I just don't want to play it. That is INDIKA. Next, Kamaeru, A Frog Refuge. This is a frog breeding and taming game with beautiful watercolor art, but not really any animation to speak of. It's all very, very static imagery, which is fine. But the gameplay loop quickly showed itself to be very, very shallow and dull. And I played the game for maybe close to 3 hours, and I just was doing the same shit over and over and over again. And I eventually got tired of it, because so much of what it is, after you go through the tutorial and unlock some things and get some characters, what you're basically doing is you'll have some objectives here and there, but you are spending a lot of your time in the wetlands. You have your little home area where you can decorate it, and frogs will come by and hang out on the furniture and items you place in your space. But you're spending a lot of times in the wetlands to collect bugs and collect different plants, harvest fruits and wheat and stuff of that nature to cook the bugs you need in order to tame the frogs. And when you tame them, then you can breed them and mash together different color schemes. And then with the fruit you're collecting and other resources, you can cook some food or craft some items like boxes or lollipops and stuff of that nature, which you then sell in the shop. And you just keep doing this. That's all you're doing. You are taming frogs, taking pictures of them, crafting, and that's it. Over and over and over and over again. And the crafting system seems broken, or it's designed in a way I don't like, because you can do bulk crafts where if you have enough resources to build 13 or to cook 13 lollipops, for example, you can do them all at once, but you are way incentivized to do them one by one by one by one, because the process involves a handful of button presses. But there is a point in the crafting or cooking process where you'll be able to, if you hit a button at the right time, you'll be able to earn bonuses during the process. if you do bulk cooks, bulk crafts, that doesn't multiply the number of bonuses you're getting. It doesn't multiply by the number that you're doing the bulk order of. So if you do it one by 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 so on and so forth, you get that bonus each and every time. And I don't know if that's an oversight, design choice, what. I also had a situation where I think it might have been bugged and was giving me too much when I was doing it one by one by one by one as well. And then I just got to, after spending way too much time cooking lollipops over and over and over again, I got so much money that I don't think I ever have to worry about money. But it's just super dull. I'm spending all this time in the wetlands collecting weeds so that it turns into mulch or some shit, collecting bugs, seeing if a new frog shows up there. They'll hang out in the ponds as well, and in there you're worrying about your ecology or some shit, and just doing that over and over and over again. I barely ever spend time in my home area because I don't see the point. New frogs will show up in the wetlands, and there I can keep collecting bugs, keep collecting the resources so that I'll be able to cook and craft. So why spend time in the regular area outside of just wanting to look at frogs and hang out? The breeding place is there, so you have to be there if you want to breed, and the shop is there to sell stuff, but you really don't need to spend much of your time there. And also in the wetlands, you have a few people who eventually show up and can help you collect certain types of bugs, which is nice. They're really cheap and they do their job quickly, but it involves some menu navigation that doesn't need it. There's a bit of tedium there. It just really, at the end of the day, the gameplay loop is just not fun after a while. It's just very, very tedious and repetitive. But that is, again, Kamaeru, a frog refuge. Next, we have Texas Chainsaw Massacre Pinball, which is part of Pinball M, their monster edition of the Pinball FX series. The theming is great. This is one of the best themed tables I've seen in a while from them. It's so good. It looks great. Sounds great. But this one especially, it feels like at some point Pinball FX changed the way they design tables so that the ball will just inherently, based on the way the physics works for all these tables, it is designed to fall down the middle or bounce out one of the sides unless you utilize table nudging. I am not a table nudger. I'm a casual pinball person. I don't want to engage with that. I don't like doing that. I'm not good at it. I don't want to get good at it. I just want to have some casual pinball fun, and I don't feel like I can do that on these tables. You could say I just suck at pinball. That's fine. I'm fully willing to admit and be called a pinball sucker. I just love sucking on them pinballs because I suck, okay? I suck, and that's it. And I played this table a few times, and I just fucking sucked it up, and it's not enjoyable for me. So I don't know really what to say. I'm curious if anyone else who plays these feels the same, though. Because it just seems like so many of their tables these days are designed in this way, and it's frustrating. Because there's clearly so much love put into the visual design of the tables and how intricate they are and how many little mini games and stuff of that nature you can get into with these. Like on the, was it Knight Rider table, where they had this whole conveyor belt type thing, and you play this little mini. There's so much detail in these things, and I want to engage with them and have a good time, and I can't have a good time because it feels like I have to play it like some pro pinball player. And I just want to be a normie. I just want to be a pinball normie. And it just feels like at some point Pinball FX said, "Nah, we want to be the hardcore pinball fucking series." And it makes me sad. And last but not least, one other pinball game, Roxy Raccoon's Pinball Panic. This is a much simpler, lower detail, basic pinball game that has a story mode, that has a story who cares about very simple pinball mechanics. It is very easy to keep a game going. So you don't have to worry about nudging the table in this game. Super simple visuals. I guess Roxy Raccoon is a raccoon from some other series or something, because they're talking about, here's the newest game with your favorite raccoon. And I was thinking to myself, what? I feel like I maybe played a game with this raccoon shooting things or something. It's a very polygonal raccoon, but maybe it just is I'm confusing it with another raccoon. But the pinball gameplay is fine because the tables are so simple and the music isn't all that great and the audio design isn't all that special. It's a bit dull. In addition to the story mode, there's a score attack mode and a time attack mode, but the most interesting part about this game is that there is a minigame section. I think it's like some character's playground or something. And what's crazy about it is that there are maybe 20 plus minigames in this pinball game. And most of them are not pinball themed at all. There's a pachinko one, which is a little pinball-y. But then a lot of them involve you having to avoid certain obstacles or navigate a very narrow path by pressing a button that will change the direction you're moving. A lot of these minigames involve changing your direction with a button. But then there's also stuff like the card match game where you see all these cards and they go face down and then you have to match them with each other. There's just a bunch of weird minigames that are thrown in here that don't have any kind of pinball theming. They're just here to give the game some legs, I guess, which is kind of cool, kind of nice, but I'll play a Mario Party game instead if I want those, or something else. But it's nice that they're here. It's a very kid-friendly, family-friendly little pinball game. So maybe if you want a much more casual pinball experience, might be worth checking out. But for me, it's always going to be the pinball arcade. If I want to play pinball, that's what I'm playing on my Xbox. Because I did, when that game was, when all the Williams packs, maybe a few others were being delisted, I bought them all up. So I have all the tables in that game. Love that game. It's a little visually rough, but physics-wise, it is, for my money, the best pinball game out there. But, yeah. That'll do for this here episode of the Pixelated Sausage Show. A very weird, I don't know what show. Yeah. So once again, I am Marcus Nez. Y'all can find me pretty much everywhere at PX Sausage. If you enjoyed this here show or any of the stuff I do and what have you, you can support me and my nonsense over at patreon.com/PXS. where you can get a monthly Q&A, access to a fancy schmancy Discord channel called the Cool Kids Club, where all the cool kids hang out, and various fancy Discord roles, among other little niceties. Or you can just support me to support me if you'd like. That is, again, patreon.com/PXS. In addition to the Patreon, you can find links to the site, the YouTube, the Discord, and so much more over at pxsausage.com. But that is it. That is all. As always, thank you for watching or listening. I hope you enjoyed this here episode, and I hope you have both a wonderful rest of your day and a lovely rest of your week. And a wonderful weekend as well. Don't forget the weekend. Have a wonderful weekend as well. But for now, adios, arrivederci. Bye!